Hey, ever wonder what it's like investing with my company? Stay tuned.
This life, normal paths are not to be driven. We're too busy. I got my own dreams and ambitions. Everything I want, I'll bring to fruition. I'm my own boss, yeah, I make my own decisions. My father speaks through me, through my intuition. And when he speaks, you best believe I'ma listen. A tunnel vision when I get up in the zone. What I want, I manifest to being on my own. And all I need is my creator's permission. Then he gave it to me when he gave me the vision. I'm made in his image. Yeah, we weren't made to just exist, y'all. We were made to create.
Hello, my beautiful people. So today we have Miss Teresa here, and she's going to speak to us a little bit regarding her acquisitions of her very first property with the help of my company. So, Miss Teresa, can you please tell us where you're from?
Okay, so I'm from Columbus, Ohio. I just recently moved to Georgia a couple weeks ago. Michelle and I met at a tour. We were touring Airbnbs. And so she designed a mastermind group. She started a mastermind group, a Facebook group for the people that were on the tour. And we used to have, calls like twice a week, Monday and Tuesday. And she started sharing a little bit about like what was going on in Mississippi and the things that were going on in her state. And we were like, oh, that seems really cool, because she was doing some really cool different things. And the only thing I thought of was Airbnb, because I'm just, first starting in real estate. And for me, it was like baby stepping my way into real estate. So, she kind of took our hand and kind of just telling us all the cool things she was doing. I'm like, oh, that seems pretty neat. So then she invited us out to Mississippi just to, to kind of show us in person, because I'm a very visual person. I need to see, touch, feel, whatever. And she was going to show us kind of what she was doing visually. I'm like, perfect. So,
but prior to Miss Teresa,
yes,
actually closed her very first deal. Virtually.
I did, virtually. I'm like, the woman is like, oh, virtual stinks, whatever. I did. And so 2 or 3 days, was it 2 days before I came out here?
Yes,
2 days before I came out here. She found a deal. This woman was a little bit in distress. She, needed to do some things for her family, and her house was free and clear, which is great. She was asking for $10,000 for the home. Whoever thinks of $10,000 for a house.
What's
right?
The condition of the house?
The condition of the house is I won't say shabby chic, but it's like it needs some fixing. Okay, it just needs some.
But
fixing.
What type of fixing?
It's very cosmetic. So the thing is, it's like it has good bones. It had the electrical's good, the plumbing was good. It was just like there was just some cosmetic things, like the door was messed up. The flooring, so a little bit of something on the ceiling. Where the heater had leaked.
They were still living in the property.
Yeah, and they were still living in the property. So like it looked very, very lived in. Like the floors were a little messed up. Just little things are messed up that just made it a little bit less pretty. Things that need to be worked on. So she was struggling with that, and so she asked for $10,000 for the home. The woman, she at first, we offered $5,750. She was not going for that, and then, she kind of ghosted Michelle a little bit. So she was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stop by and just see what happens. So she did. She was able to go in and tour the property. That's when she got the chance to see, and she was actually taking pictures of everything. She had me on the phone while she was talking to the lady, so I heard everything. Talking to the lady, and then she was taking pictures of everything, so I was able to see and hear everything that was going on, videos, everything that was going on. And so the lady was like, okay, maybe I'll do, $5,750 wasn't working. So we said, what about $7,500? And she was like, no to that as well. And so she came up with $8,500. We're like, okay, cool. That's good. I think that'll work. So with that process going forward, so Michelle did all the contracts, set everything up, did everything, deed, all that, everything, all the background, all the stuff that you don't think about needs to be done. She did all the background stuff that you don't think about. You're like, oh, I just do this deal. Well, there's a lot of stuff that goes into doing that deal, right?
Because I am a lawyer.
Yes.
But I don't practice law right now.
Yeah. So she did all the background stuff, and so like, okay, so the woman, of course, she wanted her $8,500 like right away, and we're like, it doesn't work that way. So here's what we're gonna do.
Because she wanted to stay in the property, right?
Yes, and we can't just have you stay in the property, and you get all this money and you just get to stay there. What's your incentive to leave? There isn't any, right? You already got your money. What are you gonna leave for? So what we did is we paid her $4,000. With a stipulation that within 30 days she would have to leave the property. So she's allowed to, we give her time to be able to get her affairs in order, get together, get moved out, everything like that. And after those 30 days,
After those 30 days.
After the 30 days, we're going to charge her $550 a month with a $5 late fee if she isn't paying the $550. Yeah, okay, you can see right there.
Yes.
Okay. So it's an incentive for her to leave, but it's also an incentive to her as well because we did not give her all the money right away. It's like we gave her $4,000. You don't get the other $4,500 until you leave. So the quicker you leave, the quicker you get your money.
But did you get the deed?
Yes, we already got the deed. Yes, we got the deed. So everything is good to go. So like, we're just trying to give her a time. She's already in distress. You don't want to like make her duress. You don't want to make her feel worse about her situation that she's going through, and she wants to sell this house. And so we're helping her. We said, how much do you need to help with your situation right now? She said $4,000. That's what we gave her. So to be able to help somebody like that was an amazing experience as well, because if it wasn't us, it would have been somebody else. And we're very respectful. She seemed like a very nice lady, very respectful. She cared for her children. That's what she was doing this for. And so you want to treat them with respect, and that's exactly what Michelle did. That's exactly what I did. And so I think it turned out really, really well.
Everyone.
Yes, exactly.
So would you recommend working with Nouvariche?
Yes. Can I say that louder? Yes. So here's the thing. So my thing is, I freak out on things. I get very comfortable in my little niche, my little situations, or whatever I have going on, and you get very, very comfortable. And so when you're trying to do something new as an adult, it's difficult to learn new things when you're an adult, especially when you're so used to doing something totally on the polar opposite. I'm an accountant right now, so like doing that the polar opposite of getting into real estate is not the same. So it's not the same thing. So by having somebody to actually hold your hand through the entire freaking process, it's just been an amazing experience. I mean, she told me about the property. She's like, this is how you negotiate. Not only this is how you negotiate. I was on the phone while the negotiating was happening. The contracts, her going to the courthouse, her doing these different things. Like, I got to get this deal. She was running around with the chicken with her head cut off, and I contacted the notary for it. Like, this is the address you need to go to. This notary's going to be available here. All the things that go in that you don't think about go into a deal. Go into that freaking deal, and she was handling a lot of that stuff. And so I just kind of, it's the hand holding that really kind of made me feel comfortable with the whole situation. And it's difficult to do, and you're putting your money up. And yes, there's $10,000, and that doesn't seem like a lot of money, but when you're putting your money into something this like brand new, it's not a ton of money, but it's not chump change either.
Right.
So you got to think of what's going to make you feel comfortable. And Michelle and her company have made me feel over the top comfortable with the process and everything. She's so transparent, very, very transparent. So there's nothing like she's hiding anything from you. You know exactly what's going on. You know what the original cost was. You know what was put in front of the seller. The seller declined it. The different things that went into the negotiating of all the deals. So it's a wonderful experience for sure.
Thank you. But before the experience, how did you feel? Like, were you a little bit afraid at first?
Of course. Yes. Yes. I'm like, because she was telling me about this thing, and like I said, I was only thinking about doing Airbnb. So when she's like, "Oh, we have this deal," I'm like, "Oh God,"
Now you're a property owner.
Yes. So I was talking to my family, my friends, and stuff. They're like, "You're really doing some stuff."
So let's speak to this, because I think a lot of people will want to know, if you don't have a lot of knowledge about a property, how are you going to manage this property from Mississippi? So what are the plans for the property? Is it to rent it? Is it to rent to own? How are you going to fix things up?
Okay. So it is going to be a rent to own property. Rent to own property is the person is because it is it needs to get some things fixed. And because it is rent to own, the person that's renting the property is actually the person that will be fixing the property. So it's not like us having to go in and do all these cosmetic changes because we're doing it as a rent to own. Because you're going to eventually be the owner, you're also responsible for fixing up that property. With that we're going to put into stipulations of monthly inspections or quarterly inspections or whatever we feel the need to do inspections. That way we're guaranteed that those changes are actually being made, those updates are actually being made to the property. And then we'll do it that way. And then Michelle, boots on the ground, which is lovely because, I'm not here, I'm in Atlanta. Michelle's here, and she, the little nuances the inspections and things like that, the little things like that. Mm-hmm. And there have been the potential tenants to even get the rent to own. That's all, Michelle's handling that.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, Bam!
Well, congratulations again.
you.
Thank you.